This is Sunday, November 13th. I can't believe we're halfway through November 2022. And we're entering the Q&A period of our call. The topic has been 5G and its effect generally on health and on Morgellons. So, okay, we're opening up questions for that.
Who's first, Chris?
Thank you, as always, for being here for us. I have a couple concerns here. First of all, could you kindly repeat the name of the cloth that you've used to cover your modem, Richard? I didn't get that.
Gosh, I don't know the name of it. You just go on eBay or someplace and look for a cloth, EMF cloth or something like that.
EMF cloth protection.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been wiping my laptop with alcohol. Is that? And then I have a question about.
Well, as long as you don't get the keys wet, so that any liquid that's going to get in your keys can ruin it. So you just want to be careful. You can wipe it with anything that you want. You can wipe it with ammonia, enzymes, or anything. Just don't let the enough liquid get in between the keys to destroy it.
Okay, thank you for that feedback. Also, I love all your products, the debriding soap. I wanted to ask you if you could go over some of the protocols for the debriding soap, because I dilute it, and I'm just wondering, because I know it's multi-purposed and it's a great product. If you could expand on that a little bit.
Well, the debriding soap concentrate, 100%. There are basically two uses for it. One is in your bath. We recommend when you're getting started in this program that you do 3 baths a day. The idea is for you to get from one bath to the next bath with relatively little discomfort, assuming you're working on making the diet work. If you're not working on making the diet work and getting the diet to kick in for you, you're going to be on 3 baths a day for the rest of your life, using a lot and spending a lot of money that's unnecessary, all right? So we're not here to make money on you. We're here to get you to make the diet work so that your usage of this incredibly gold, it's worth gold, is going to be diminished over time. So you're doing 3 baths a day. You're using just 1 capful. The cap on the bottle, you take the cap off on the bottle. Now, if you're using a essential oil like the peppermint, there's 2 ounces of peppermint. It's up to you how many drops, usually no more than 10. You put those drops into the cap first, and then you pour in the Nature's Gift, filling up the cap. And if you have a toothpick or something, you can kind of stir it together or whatever, or by pouring it in, it may be sufficiently to mix up the essential oil. You want to mix the essential oil with the Nature's Gift before you put it into the bath. Remember, oils float on water. So by mixing it with the Nature's Gift, you're going to be more dispersing it throughout the bath in the water, and it just won't be floating. If you've taken a bath with peppermint, you feel very cold because the oil floats on top. When you get it interspersed, you won't feel as much of that coldness on your skin. Now, that's the first use of Nature's Gift, is with bathing, to clean the organisms out of your skin. We are not claiming that at this dilution, 1 capful and a half a tub of water is a dilution ratio of about 1 to 22,000. So that's 1 part Nature's Gift to 22,000 parts of water. Very, very dilute. And that is sufficient to get into the skin and irritate these organisms so they want to leave. Now, that's where the essential oil comes in, the peppermint or Epsom salts, or Chapter 3 has about maybe 15 different disinfectants, from apple cider vinegar to peroxide to borax and all, Epsom salts, everything. So those are what does the killing of the organisms, generally, but not necessarily always. the stronger organisms may survive the onslaught of the disinfectant. We talked about this a week or so ago. One lady shared that the idea is to let the water drain from the tub before you get out. So let the water drain from the tub, get out, take a shower, use one of our Nature's Gift bars in the shower. You can, depending on the severity of your situation, you can go through the instructions, wet your skin again, lather up, turn off the water for 3 minutes, and then rinse off and get out of the bath, out of the shower. In the beginning, if you're dealing with Morgellons, you're going to pat down with paper towels and dispose of them. After you do that, then the second application of Nature's Gift comes in. You get a little pen dispenser with your first order. That pen dispenser holds it holds 10 milliliters. The instructions that come with it say to put in, I think, 8 drops, I'm going by memory, 8 drops of 100% or 16 drops of 15%, and then fill it up with water and shake it. Now that is what we call body wipe. You can, at that point, spray any areas where you've noticed intense itching before you took the bath and that you're having difficulties with, and then go about your day. You take the pen dispenser with you throughout the day. That's the idea. It's very convenient. You put it in your pocket or in your purse. If you feel any itching or slight activity, you get it out and you spray the area that you're experiencing a difficulty with. And so you do that from bath to bath, and that's called the body wipe. Now, we also have our mouthwash, which is a bit more concentrated. By the way, the concentration of the body wipe that I just explained, the 8 drops to 10 milliliters, is about 1 part super concentrate to 72 parts of water. That's the dilution ratio. Now, our mouthwash is a little stronger. I don't remember exactly what the ratio is, but it's more like 1 part to maybe 50 parts or 40 parts of water. And it also has cinnamon in it, and has peppermint in it, and it also has ionic minerals in it. So that is also a body wipe, but much stronger. But you wouldn't put that in your pen dispenser. You wouldn't use that in your pen dispenser because for some reason or other, the ionic minerals destroy the ability for these things to spray. Okay, who's next? Thank you, Anna.
Thank you very much.
I actually moved off the grid out into the middle of nowhere, literally, as far away as you can get, because I am electromagnetically sensitive. And so I had to hardwire my computer, and I had to move my modem 200 feet away and hardwire it with wires, because the wireless was making me sick. It was really ruining me.
I'm glad you noted that, because I forgot to mention that in the first portion of the program, is that instead of using your computer as wireless, it's better to go Ethernet. With the wire.
Ethernet.
Right to the modem.
And I want to warn you that even though I did have it hardwired, and I had chosen the wire, the hardwire feature, I was still getting radiated, and I knew I was because I could feel it, and it was upsetting me and hurting me. And so finally I got a hold of Viasat, and I said, well, I've had this thing hardwired, but I can still feel the wireless bothering me. And the technician, I had to call 3 times. And finally I got a technician who said, well, actually you have to turn it off on your computer as well by going to page 3 of your documents that are in your, what do you?
Well, yeah, you
your-
can be connected to Ethernet, but if you don't turn Wi-Fi off, you're still using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and you have to turn it off online, on the internet as well. And so I did, and I noticed a huge difference. I'm feeling so much better now. And I actually don't have any cell phone reception here. And I don't even have radio. You can't even if you have a long antenna, you still can't pick up radio here. So I'm quite safe. And I wanted to tell you that if somebody ever wants to come for a vacation and get away from the Wi-Fi, I do have an RV that they could stay in. Just saying. You can look at my website. It tells about it. I offer it for free if people will just help me a couple hours a day. You know.
Okay. Well, email me your website. I'll be glad to publish it.
Oh, really? Okay, wonderful.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, right now it's great because I have about 50 mango trees, and they're all dropping mangoes right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to freeze it and stuff. I want to make fruit leather. But I wanted to tell you that your program has really helped me a lot. I haven't been able to do the baths because since I'm off-grid, all I have is rainwater that I collect, and there's not enough to do that many baths a day. And so instead, I mixed half castor oil with half olive oil and put some different essential oils in it. And if they attack me, like in the middle of the night, I just pour that over my head, and it takes about an hour to totally do an oil bath. But that will also help if you don't have water to work with. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you so much because your program and all your information is so valuable, and I want to thank you so much. I wanted to come and give you a big plug a couple weeks ago, but I had gotten reinfected, and since then I've gotten reinfected twice. But both times I've been able to get rid of them. And actually on Halloween, I have this endoscope. You can buy a lighted endoscope that plugs into your computer at Amazon for about $30, and you can actually look at things, magnify them up to 1,000 times. and I actually had that I took pictures of little tiny spiders that had 16 legs. I don't know if they were spider mites, but I haven't been able to even classify them online because there are no pictures of 16-legged spiders, but I've got photographs of them, so it's real.
I'd like to see those photographs. That would be great. So that's a double arachnid.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be happy to send them to you, but fortunately, I got rid of them, and these are transgenic. There's actually patents on all these different little worms and nanoworms and all these different organisms. They're patented. They're not they're not like a normal thing that your immune system can overcome easily because it has to wake up and go, what the heck is this? And it takes a long time, especially if you get the terrible fungal infection that goes with it, which I have had for 2 years now, which is finally going away. It's a big deal to deal with these transgenic, genetically modified organisms that are biological warfare. And Lyme disease, for instance, Lyme disease was biological warfare. It was created on Plum Island in New York. And it got out, and it got to Lyme, Connecticut, and everyone got sick, so they called it Lyme. But if you do the research, there's been whistleblowers that have come out about this, and all this stuff is all caused by our own government is actually creating all this stuff, and it's getting loose, and infecting the people. And I think that that's terrible, and it should stop. We should do something. We should do a class action suit and make them stop. Because infecting our own people.
Like I mentioned before, it seems that we're so caught up with the politics and the false elections and all this kind of rigmarole that we don't really get to focus on the real important issues like glyphosate and 5G and much less even get into Lyme disease. I believe that there was the House did do something a year or so ago where they were going to look into Lyme disease having been used as a bioweapon, but I haven't heard any update on that. So I don't know if they got stalemated or if it went nowhere or what. But you know, we got to get our politics settled down so we can get our lives on track. We got to get the country back together instead of people complaining about what's wrong. Let's move things forward.
Yes, and our Constitution says we have the right to abolish a government that is turned against the people, and they've turned against us. They're poisoning us.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that in this call. Thank you. Okay. All right.
I know, but we have to figure out how do you abolish a government. Can you just vote
Well,
on
you see, you got two parties, and each party is claiming the other party is doing that. So each party is trying to abolish the other party. So it's a no-win discussion here. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, I don't mean the parties. I know that's just divide and conquer. That won't go anywhere. But I'm just talking about the medical aspects and being poisoned, you know, physically. So that's a whole other thing. And, you know, Kennedy, he's with something about protecting the children. He might be able to do something like that. I don't know.
Well, get to know your congressmen, get to know them, and go talk to them about glyphosate and about Lyme disease and about the issues 5G, definitely. Okay, thank you. Keep coming back. Yes.
Yeah, the 5G, there's been no health studies done on it. So.
Now, yeah. Well, thank you, and keep coming back, and I'm glad to hear of your progress. Thank you.
Aloha. Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Who's next, Chris?
This is my first time on your whatever you call this.
Welcome.
And I'm really enjoying it. Thank you very much. But I had a question for you about Rife machines. And how that
you know, I'm glad you mentioned. I'm glad you brought that up because Rife machines are based on energy, and we've been talking about energy. The whole first portion of this program about 5G, microwaves, these are all energy waves. Unfortunately, the energy waves that they are destroy us. Dr. Rife, back in the 30s, discovered that there are certain energy waves, certain frequency waves that actually explode organisms. It could be cancer cells, or it could be a virus, it could be a bacterium. And he was really a pioneer back in the 30s. And unfortunately, he had a falling out with the head of the AMA at that time. Nobody remembers him because he must have been some kind of idiot jerk who went with penicillin as being the miracle cure. So all of a sudden, because of political blow in the wind, Dr. Rife was out and penicillin was in, and we've been moving in antibiotics ever since. And ever since, all we do with these strong antibiotics is we create superbugs, we destroy the gut biome, and misery. So Rifing machine, absolutely. In fact, in the book, there are 2 or 3 pages of the frequencies that have been identified. I'm sure there may be more. If you're interested, there's a machine, Spooky 2, Spooky 3.
Right.
My co-host is familiar with Robin. She'd be the person to talk to about those. She has experience. I don't. I never actually had to go to Rifing or to biofeedback or in terms of Spooky 2 or 3. I never had to do that. So I would turn that over to Robin.
Well, my question is, since this is a frequency-based therapy, how would that relate to your talk about EMF?
Well, as I said, there are dangerous waves, dangerous frequencies like 5G and dirty electricity and microwaves, and there are designed frequencies that you'll find with Rifing that are healthy for you. And I don't think you stand in front of a Rife machine for all day long. I mean, we're talking about 5G. Your exposure is 24 hours a day. We're talking about microwaves 24 hours a day. When we're talking about Rifing, we're talking about sitting down, turning the machine on for maybe 20 or 30 minutes and having your treatment at that specific frequency. And you do that, I don't know, once or twice a day. I don't know what, I'm not the expert. Yes, Robin.
What you're saying, I think, is...
let me interrupt. So a lot of treatment on Rife machines is through DNA, and it's remote, and it has no effect. It's a different kind of frequencies. Some frequencies are long, like 12 hours at a time, but it's not. But it's not electromagnetic frequencies that are going to harm you. They're healing or killing frequencies, killing disease, killing parasites. And I have found I use them remotely to kill mites and springtails in my home. I catch samples and I put them in my machine, and it kills them. So,
you can even go on YouTube and you can look up frequencies, and they play frequencies. Listen to this.
They have free ones.
Listen to this. I love you. I hate your effing ass. Frequencies there. Different frequencies. Different energy. It's all energy.
We are made up of frequencies. We emit frequencies. We have electronic energy in our body. So, not all frequencies are harmful and bad.
That telephone you're using is made up of energy, frequencies, energy. Everything is energy. Everything has frequency. It's a matter of knowing which frequencies are good and useful and which frequencies are harmful and why. The food that you eat has frequency.
You are vibrations.
What's that?
I said quantum science might say that you are a package of vibrations.
That's right. Exactly what I've been saying. You're exactly right. Quantum physics. We all are moving atoms. Frequency.
Yep.
So thank you. Welcome to the program. Keep coming back. We're here to support you in getting your life back, as hundreds and hundreds have done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's next, Chris?
First, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, and also tell everyone, do not give up no matter what, because it has taken me a year and a half to get this down pat with the eating, figure out which of your products work the best for me to help me stay on track and well. And you learn very quickly that the diet, just like you always say, is the key factor, because when you play with it, you're going to pay for it and suffer. And it just took me a while, even with cough drops or anything, I didn't realize little things. But anyway, just thank you for hanging in there with everybody. That way it makes it affordable when you figure out what is working for you. I asked Chris this week about because I've been on a lot of antibiotics because I had to have dental work, cysts removed from my breast, and I got an infection around my ankle, and Morgellons got into it. And the wound doctors kept wanting to wrap me, and that little place would not heal. But I'm finally unwrapped and getting healed, and I was going to ask him about the antifungal things that you have. Richard, is that for people that have been on a lot of antibiotics like myself?
Well, whenever you're on, that's a great question. And whenever you are on antibiotics, generally the doctor prescribing will also prescribe an antifungal. That kind of goes without saying. It should be. That fungal might be diflucan or something like that. And that, because the antibiotics kill off your bad bacteria as well as the good bacteria, allowing the fungal organisms to thrive. And there are many, many different fungal organisms. Candida is only one of many. So the diflucan is to help that. Now, what we do is, in conjunction, it's up to you, is that we have 3 ways of dealing with fungal organisms. One is the medication called lufenuron, and that's gotten through another company, Shop for, the number 4, not F-O-R, shop4morgellons.com. Nancy was on as a guest a few weeks ago, and you can get lufenuron from that place. What lufenuron does is it inhibits the ability of fungal organisms to create chitin. Chitin, if you look at it, is comparable to the mortar that holds brick together. So if you take a brick wall and you have all that mortar be disintegrated, the brick wall is going to blow over in the first little rain or the windstorm that comes along. So that's what lufenuron does. It's also, she recommends it if you're living in a moldy environment. It could be a musty kind of environment. That's another. So that's one application. Now, in regards to fungal issues. The other is that we have a product called the chitinase enzymes. Now, the chitin, okay, these enzymes go after existing fungal organisms or existing fungal organisms, and they chew up the chitin. So the lufenuron would inhibit the production of chitin, and the existing fungal organisms in your body would be attacked by the chitinase enzymes that would be chewing it up. So taking away the mortar from the wall of the fungal organisms in your body. And then we go one step further and we look at a substance called undecleic acid. Undecleic acid is in our supplement called Dayclex, calcium Dayclex. Now, the purpose of undecleic acid is to inhibit the production of hyphae. Now, as a plant has roots that go into the ground from which the roots get the moisture and the nutrients for the plant to thrive, the fungal organism has a root structure which is called hyphae, Hyphae, I think. So the hyphae, you can have mold growing on a wall, and a sheetrock wall. The mold can grow on a sheetrock wall, and the hyphae will actually go into the sheetrock and extract the moisture and get nutrients from that wall. So that's what hyphae does. Whether it's in the wall or in the ground or in your body, it has a root structure. So the calcium Dayclex inhibits the ability for the organisms to replicate with the hyphae and keep them from putting down more root structures and getting nutrients.
Okay, so I can call and see about is the lufenuron, is that also in the one that I have used from the giant dogs, like the that they treat them for fleas or whatever that has the what is it? They treat.
Well, I'm not quite hearing you. I'm not hearing you.
You know, what is the one that people are told to take sometimes? I have done that, and it really did help me every 2 days. It's like they give dogs for fleas once a month.
Well, there are four medications. There are four medications that we suggest you look into. Lufenuron is for fungal organisms and for mites. Mites lay eggs. The shell of mite eggs are comprised of chitin, so it inhibits the ability of the mites to create a hard egg that will go to maturity. Chitin is also in the mouth parts of columbella and mites, so it will inhibit the production of the mouth parts. The second we look at is fenbenzidol. Fenben, is used for intestinal parasites. The third we look at is nitenpyram, and the nitenpyram is how she pronounces it, and that is a mite killer to kill skin mites. So those are the three that we actually look at. They actually have ivermectin, but I don't really recommend ivermectin in this process. The Fenben is far more effective over. You see, ivermectin is done in a very short period of time. It's a dewormer. So you take it one or a couple of times, maybe 3 times at most in a short period of time, and that's supposed to get rid of all the worms. Well, maybe it does, but there's a way, I don't know, I think we get reinfected or whatever, and it doesn't really work over a long time in my experience with Morgellons. Fenben, you take over months. It's not, it can be used as a dewormer, but we're not using it as a dewormer. We're using it to basically somehow inhibit the ability of these organisms to extract food from your body, and it kills them over a course of 3 or 6 months.
Okay. All right. And 2 more small things. On the prebiotic, I have a hiatal hernia, so I can't do a whole lot of onion and garlic, but I've come up with a lot of recipes where I can put some in there. But can I use the stage 1 recipe with the pure sweet cocoa, and does that cocoa count as a prebiotic?
Oh, well, cocoa is a fantastic prebiotic. What else is your question? I didn't quite understand.
Well, that was it, because I can't do a whole lot of onion and garlic. Because
okay, yeah. Well, cocoa, the Dutch cocoa we have in our store is excellent. I mean, you can find cocoa elsewhere, but we had a lady on a few weeks ago, and she was getting nowhere with cocoa, and when we looked at the ingredients, we could understand it. She didn't really read the ingredients. So that's very important to have cocoa only made through the alkalization process with no other ingredients. So cocoa is number 1 as far as a prebiotic, also number 1 as a free radical killer. It's even more powerful than glutathione. In fact, if glutathione didn't have so many other advantages, we wouldn't even need it. Right. Cocoa would do it.
That's great. I've learned some great recipes from my coach and from you guys. The only thing online in Georgia, I'm having a hard time. I like the sweet leaf packets instead of trying to shake on, because I use a lot, and it kind of.
You're looking for stevia. You're looking for stevia.
I know you don't have the shake on, but I like the packet, and the ones I've been looking at of the sweet leaf have. What is silica and inulin?
Inulin. Well, silica is fine. It depends on the source of the inulin. Inulin can come from different sources, just like citric acid. If it comes from soy and you have no way of telling where it came from, it could be a problem. But we do have sweet leaf stevia in the store, and it doesn't have any. We also have the stevia with inulin, but that's only for stage 2.
Okay.
But if you're going to buy stevia anywhere else, it should just say ingredients organic stevia leaf.
That's
Nothing
it.
else.
Nothing else. Okay.
Do they have it in packets?
I don't know about packets.
On Amazon, you can get these packets. It's called Stevita, and they're little packets. Each one equals like 2 teaspoons of sugar. There's nothing else in it. And they're convenient because you can take them in your purse, you know.
Okay. I'll call
Stevita.
Yeah, I'll call Chris, also order cocoa. And the other thing, Richard, thank you. How long does it take to get this? This is the question probably everybody wants to know. When you get far enough along, and I am going to do that, because if you guys can do it, I can. And thank you, Robin. I want to commend your coach, Robin, because she has been so patient with me and taught me so much. And Chris always helps with my orders. And then I hear great things from you too, Richard. So that's the 3 of you that I do know. And I want to thank you. It is a complete blessing. And that's why I believe I'm still alive, because I came across through my daughter helping me look for you. But will we ever be able to do maybe air popcorn again, or anything?
I eat it anytime I want. I have potato chips, popcorn, anything I want to eat. So yes.
Oh, wow. So you've got to get to the stage where there's no biting, nothing going on.
Yeah, the diet has three stages. Stage 1 is the strictest, most difficult one. Stage 2 is a lot more relaxed. Stage 3 is you eat anything you want, within reason, and you're not going overboard. You're not going to eat. I'm not going to go eat a whole bucket of popcorn. I'm going to eat.
Oh no. And I would pot mine or just in the rice bran oil. Robin teaching me, add a little bit of one food a week. That's what I finally added banana to my bread and cinnamon, and made a banana bread last week, and a sprinkle of walnuts. And it was divided in 2 loaves, which was a very little bit in each slice, which lasted me about a week and a half. So I did fine with that. So I'm learning to try, So anyway, thank you, and I will keep coming back.
Yes, keep coming back, and we're very happy to hear of your progress. That's what we're here for. Thank you, Carol Ann. Bye-bye.
Sure.
Okay, who's next, Chris?
I found you on October 18th on the internet, and it's about 3 weeks later, and I purchased the products as other people have mentioned, and I've had tremendous success, Richard, and I really appreciated you last week mentioning the fact that the Band-Aids help on these resistant lesions. And so I did what you said, and that's helped me a lot. I have some very tricky customers hanging out in my neck area, and they really have. I actually have had infections in my ears and behind my ears. What these things have done is they've taken the keratin, evidently, and created this sticky web-like material that they inundate my scalp with, and it's anyway. Since the 18th of October, I've come around tremendously. I appreciate every single comment, from experience that I hear, just the tiniest things you say, you can't believe what effect they can have on us new people. Okay, so thank you guys. I just want to say that I wouldn't be here without you. So, and I've only been dealing with this really bad stuff for a fairly short period of time compared to some other folks. So I just thank God. Thank God for you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you for sharing. That's very inspirational, and I hope that others, hope your inspiration inspires others, because it's wonderful. And that's only within about a month. That's less than a month that you've been in the program, and that's incredible. Everybody is affected differently by Morgellons. Some people, when they're exposed to it, it's a gradual thing. It might take a year or two before it really gets serious, and then it, goes downhill from there, and they might end up suffering for 20 years before they find us. But it's, they're getting along. It's misery. They learn to, and they learn and they adjust to misery. Others, when they get infected with it, man, it's like overnight. It is like from daylight to the darkest of dark, and miserable so quickly. So everybody's different. And for you, it was a quick exposure. It got you real bad real quick, and I'm so glad that you happened upon my program and us when you did, and I'm so honored to participate in your coming out of that miserable space that you were in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Chris, who's next?
I believe it's an automotive supply company that has air in a can. So you can just squirt this air around your computers or anything else you want, and it just dissipates it into the air. You may not want that, but you could bring it outside your computer, and it worked very well for us here.
Okay.
As far as the Rife machine, if you go on True Rife, that's TRUE, Rife.com, they have films about videos, about how the Rife works, and I really recommend that particular machine. My husband, for instance, had 3 fourth-stage cancers, all morphed, all in the wrong places, supposedly, and he was not supposed to do well, and he's absolutely fine today. Of
Wonderful.
course, there were herbs. Yeah, there were herbs and other things involved, but that was the basic treatment, and you can run the programs overnight, like Robin said. Like to clean the liver is 15 minutes, but then Lyme's and Morgellons, there could be other things. Well, Lyme's is overnight, but Morgellons is relatively short. I don't even remember how long that one is, but they have a specific program for that. And also I have a jacket in my closet that has anti-Wi-Fi built into it. And I have a huge scarf that when I was being affected by all this, I would put surrounding my head and shoulders to sleep with at night. And some people claim that if you use aluminum panels or aluminum foil on your headboard, you can create some type of 5G resistance material, especially if you have this smart computer that some of you took when they said that you absolutely needed this item, which was not true. You have to be suspicious of everything. You could just tell them no thank you, and you don't have to have that. They do charge you some minimal fee. I don't know if it's monthly or yearly, something like $150 a year, I believe, but don't quote me on that. It may even vary according to your locality there. But my main thing for tonight is I am so super happy, doing so well, relatively short time, and this is what worked for me, and I don't know if it would work for others, but I do absolutely everything I can to the T. I'm not slacking off. I mean, I can eat anything, but I'm just mindful to take the supplements and do whatever I have to do. But I don't dwell on it. I have some dear friend and acquaintances, and they're dwelling on it, talking about it, photographing it, whatever they're doing. They're really like the militia against it. speaking to the government, writing articles, doing and they're so involved, like this is their life, and it's a miserable life. And I did it to some extent until I said, wait a minute, I'm looking at these other people here who have this issue, and they're pretty much laughing about it. So they're doing what they want to do, but they're not letting it consume them. So that's my thought. When we get stressed about something, the pH goes up, and the pH makes us, the stress makes the pH
go down.
Down, and the acidity is what grows them. So it's a biological, medical fact. It's not just to say, oh, don't stress and let's do this and do that. For me, I like to know the whys of it, and I think most people are like that. Why are you saying I shouldn't be stressed? Obviously we're all stressed, but just to do our best to do other things. And, it's worked so much. I have just a different mindset. I'm just so much happier. So hopefully this can help somebody else.
I'm glad you shared your experience and your feelings about this, because I suggest everybody throw away your damn camera that you've been photographing these things and sending me pictures. The only picture that actually makes any sense to me, if you find that, like, say on your ankle or something, and you've just been bitten and it's a straight line. If it's a straight line, tells me it's a mite connected with columbella. Other pictures, Morgellons is an infinite way of showing up, and most likely it's Morgellons. So what? Big deal. Make the diet work. Use this program. Get your life back, and forget the pictures.
Yes, absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. I think one day those of you, I'm not that EMF, well, with this 5G, I may be as well, be looking into buying clothing made of fabric that is made with some kind of metal in it to shield us. If we have anybody out there who is a seamstress and can make clothing, I will be glad to post you, and if anybody who is EMS sensitive wants to order clothing from you made, great. I think it's a start. It's someplace that I feel we're all going to be going once 5G is here, but some of you may want to get a head start. And another announcement, talking about cocoa, I'm looking into making chocolate candy from cocoa and alkalized cocoa and cocoa butter. Actually, there was someone shared a recipe a few months ago about how to do it, so you could make your own if you go back, and if you're a chocolate addict like I am. I went to the candy store the other day thinking, well, they have these chocolate, they actually break this chocolate up. I don't know why they just don't make it into nice squares, and you can buy it for, I don't know, the $10 a pound or whatever, maybe a quarter pound perhaps. And I thought, well, I'll see if I can do a deal with them where I can buy quarter pound boxes and offer it. And, all the candy they got is got lecithin in it. It's soy-based. So I looked at it and said, why not? Start making some chocolate.
Experimenting making candy also, so we should talk.
All right, we'll make candy. Okay. And Mary, you have anything to add? You've been very quiet.
I just have really enjoyed the show. I love it when a lot of people want to speak, and it's just been a great day and a great show.
Yes, I feel we have. We're making progress. We're making a dent, and hopefully in time we'll make more than a dent in Morgellons, because if you look at everything out there, I don't think you're going to find a better deal. You're in this program. This entire program cost you how much? How much did this program cost you? Nothing. The book is free. The diet that's worth thousands is free. All 3 stages are free. My book on Lyme disease is free. Mites, free. We have videos, overcome depression, free. I mean, you can go to my other site and pay $25. All this is free. You're in a program, get your life back, you don't have to spend a dime. But I know that you need products. And I know that once you see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you know the diet is working, you'll be like me. You want to get through the tunnel as quick as you can and get on with your life, and you want to get these things out of your skin, out of your body. You want to build your health and immune functioning, and that's where you will, as I support you, you will want to support my store. And you've heard people testify to the quality of the products. They work, they're great, they're the best around. So I want to thank you all. Thank you for participating today, and love you all. Keep coming back. See you next week. Have a great week.